I'm not sure if that's relevant to this.
Say that.
So this is not relevant.
Okay, so what is happening here is this. If I were to say, look, according to my understanding of the Bible, right, the Creator, according to the Bible, in fact the contents are replete with the Creator himself being quite deceptive, yeah, him deceiving. Forget about human beings. Now, I would ask you that, look, I've given you the explanation about the verse you brought up. The 2 Samuel one, I'm saying to you, look, if I were to kindly ask you to go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 14, verse 9. If you can go to that and let's just read it so that we know where we are. If you can just please. Yeah? I'll hold it for you.
So I'm assuming somewhere down the line you're going to reconcile the attributes that we just spoke about. Somewhere down the line. Yeah. Ezekiel
14:9.
Ezekiel 14:9.
Yeah.
And if the prophet is induced to speak anything, I, the Lord, have induced that prophet, and I will stretch out my hand against him and destroy him from among my people Israel.
Okay. When it says, I have induced, what does the word mean?
Sorry, Shabir. I'm planning to have a Shabir. I'm not here for a Q&A. I'm not here for an interrogation. I'm here for a discussion. I have raised a challenge. I'm going to give you time for you to make your points.
I made it.
Have you made that? In which case I can go back. I can go back to some of your...
Yeah. I told you I am not going to have... One second, Arul. At the start I made it very clear. In all honesty, Arul, this conversation I'm only allowing. Yeah? And I'll tell you. I am saying to you that when the verse is telling you something, okay, I am suggesting to you that that particular verse is very clear. It is talking about the Creator deceiving people. Very clear. The Creator is saying, one second, the Creator is saying, I deceive. Now, what I said to you is, look, you can do that as much as you want.
Go on.
The point is, I'll read it for you, okay?
Now, by all means, read it and make your points. By all means, you can read and make your points, and then I'll jump in with my response.
No. I would expect you to respond to my question. Like
I'll come back with my response. I'll jump in with my response.
Excellent. Now, I have made it very clear.
I think Shabi, you might want to come here just so we can.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, can you see me? Am I handsome enough? Okay then. All right. Okay.
Within the limitations of 10.
Right. 14, verse 9. Yeah? It says, I am Jehovah. And when the prophet is inveigled, so that he speaks a word, I, Jehovah, have inveigled that prophet. What does the word inveigled mean? Can we Google it, please?
No. Shabir.
One second.
Shabir.
Arul, look. I think what you need to understand, in a conversation, Arul, you have your way of doing things. Let me have mine. Don't impose on me. All I'm saying to you is, look, the whole basis, and I did say that, the whole edifice can be demolished if I can prove to you, using only one verse, that the Creator in the Bible deceives. And if that, one second. If that is the case, then anything you subsequently say has to be justified in the context.
I'm talking about keeping oaths. Keeping oaths.
Let me finish.
Shabir, talking about keeping oaths.
What does it say?
Persuade someone to do something by means of deception.
Shabir.
No, calm down a bit. Look, I am saying to you, the word is very clear that this is what, according to Ezekiel 14:9, according to the Bible, God personally deceives. Now, in one of the videos, you made it very clear to whoever you're speaking to that when they refer to Jeremiah, oh no, it wasn't God directly deceiving. Well, this particular
Shabir, I'm willing to have a long conversation with you about deception. I'm willing to have that.
Right.
But today, not that.
Arul.
We're talking about keeping oaths.
Arul, you are
Simple.
Arul. No.
Sticking to your word.
Listen,
Simple.
Listen. You said to me, you've come with an agenda of what the discussion should be. I said to you, look, are we going to include the whole of the Bible? Yes, we are going to include it. Now, how I'm making the point, and I made it clear to you, that look, when it comes to the ideas of deception, breaking of oaths, etc.,
They're not the same.
One second.
Two different things.
If I can finish. For you to use the Bible is virtual suicide, respectfully. Now, why I'm saying that I'm using this verse, as I told you see, when you talk about oaths, these are legal elements, okay? I will give you an example, and I want you to follow this through, the rabbis, okay, collectively establish 613 commandments, okay? 248 were positive, 365 negative. Out of that, number N294, it says, according to their understanding of the Torah, very clearly they say that if a person commits a sin under duress, they are not to be punished. That they have gleaned from the Bible. The question I would ask is, if their understanding of the Torah is that if you commit a sin under duress, it is not to be considered a sin. If you are forced to lie, according to them, you don't get punished. Now, I'm saying to you, if you use the Bible to try and justify how just, for want of a better word, the Creator is, then you are committing virtual suicide. Now, I'm asking you, according to Ezekiel 14:9, you talk about oaths. I'm suggesting to you that the very being that allegedly is telling you to keep your oaths is himself, I'm using the word himself, telling you that he deceives people. Now, I'm asking you a simple question. According to Ezekiel 49, if you agree with me that yes, the Creator is saying he deceives, then anything else that he says has to be taken with a pinch of salt. Do you agree?
Shabir, is it my turn now? Good, thank you. Shabir, I thank you very much that in the 5 minutes or maybe 10 minutes of your response, I do not see, apart from the last half a minute or so, I don't actually see a proper response to the point that I raised, which is keeping oaths. Duress is the only explanation I saw there, nothing else. And you, of course, because you couldn't answer the question I am raising, you're going all over the place, bringing in the idea of deception. I'm willing, by the way, I'm very, very willing. I had that with Shamsi the other day. I'm willing to have a debate with you, Shabir, on deception, Islamic Allah versus Yahweh. Very, very open. Let's do that maybe next time you're here. Let's try and do that. But that is not the point of conversation here. Muhammad with his wives, no duress involved. Even if you think duress is an excuse, here we're talking about his wives, no duress involved. The point was about a simple oath, and Muhammad, Allah, I'm assuming you would think, Allah doesn't go through duress from anyone, and therefore I'd expect him to uphold a superior moral quality, which he doesn't seem to. He legally sanctions absolution from oaths, which is something which Yahweh does not do, even if it means a few people are going to die. Gibeonites, the point I raised, the point was Gibeonites, Canaanites were supposed not to be touched purely because an oath was given. Now let me go back to a few points you raised. Thankfully, Shabir, quite early in the conversation, thankfully, you said we could end the conversation here, because you said obviously Islamic Allah is different from the Bible. The only Shabir, no, you're not supposed to.
No.
Shabir.
No, Arul.
Okay, let you speak and then start.
Do not put words into my mouth which I have not said. You did that with those two brothers. I noticed.
Yeah.
One second. Yeah,
viewers would notice again, Shabir, the point you made.
Look, the viewers, I appreciate and I respect the viewers, whoever they may be. But what you are doing is being very conniving, and that is not very Christian-like. Okay? Let me say,
Shabir, you are not my judge here. Let's get back to my turn.
My judge. Let me say what I.
And I never judged you. I let you make your point when you were making points.
I said to you at the start, I want a decent conversation. You are making too many snide remarks, and I am aware of that. 1 second,
Shabir.
Let me finish. I don't come here to have these kinds of banter. I come here to have a reasonable conversation. Now, you must understand something you seem to not be able to understand. If I have given my response,
Yep. You then wait for me to speak.
1 second, no. When I have given my response, it is entirely your decision to say whether I answered it or not. However, after I have given my response, I asked a question. That is what you should respond to first before you go on to your other point.
That is what you are dictating. That is not true.
It's only
Shabir,
reasonable.
I let you speak. Can I speak now? It's my turn. You just seem to be offended.
No, I'm not offended.
So,
I just think you are being very conniving.
thank you. Let everyone judge. Let people judge. And let an overall, God judges overall.
Are you doing
Shabir,
this? Are you doing this for the people or for us to
Shabir,
understand?
Shabir,
Come on.
why did you bring the cameras?
Eh?
Why did you bring the cameras?
Why did you wait for the cameras?
Because I want people to listen. You don't seem to want to do that for some reason. I don't know why.
But in a reasonable way.
Shabir, let's not do these. We don't. I mean,
Right. Can you just go ahead?
so anyway, all the deception showing
What
up.
about us? What about you?
No, that's fine. So, you somewhere in your response, you essentially said we could end the conversation here, and you said if the Quran goes against the Bible, which seems to be the case here, Islamic Allah legally sanctions absolution from oath, and here in the Bible, Yahweh thinks even in the worst of your situations, you still need to keep your oath. That seems to be the polar opposite difference. And you suggested when we encounter such a difference, the only recourse you would have is to suggest that the Quran is the one which supersedes. You said the biblical revelation has been superseded by the Quran according to the Quran. I think you mentioned Surah chapter 5, I think. That is what you said. I didn't put words into your mouth. You can check out your recording. That was your explanation. I'd like to thank you at least for saying that you haven't got any other valid explanation for the fact that there is polar opposite characteristic between the Islamic Allah and Yahweh clearly showing up there. You then also went on to make a remark about the Quran talking about us having to be just and so on and good and so on. You made that at the start. My problem is this. If a person makes 10 truthful statements and 2 untruthful statements, by simple convention of language and practice, we'd call him a liar, not a truthful man. The moment you have one immoral attribute, and in this case that being absolution of oaths, i.e. not having to keep your word, if that is what is coming from Islamic Allah, we could go through all other attributes a bit later. The moment we see this, we already see an immoral Islamic Allah who can't be reconciled with the Yahweh of the Bible. You also said Islamic Allah might have suggested this. I don't think you made this point quite in this way, but you were talking about whatever Islamic Allah said was for our benefit, not for his benefit, not for the benefit of the Creator and so on. Absolutely, that is not the point here. I'm not asking who benefits from what. All that I'm asking is, what is the characteristic of Islamic Allah versus the characteristic of Yahweh? Islamic Allah seems to be quite casual with, even for simple things about this lady and that lady, Even for simple things like that, he seems to be quite all right with people not keeping their word. And I'm saying Yahweh does not allow that to happen.
No problem.
In other words,
Once again,
I'll come.
You are taking too much time.
But making sensible comments about the topic we're talking about.
They are illogical.
Islamic Allah is polar opposite to Yahweh.
Okay.
You haven't
Right.
given a reasonable explanation as to why this is the case. I could suggest, if you just give me one more minute, I could suggest why this is the case. 1 minute, and you can.
It's my.
I could suggest why this is the case, and the suggestion that I have is the God of the Bible, with all his signs and wonders, is the only true God who cares about morality. Islamic Allah, on the other hand, doesn't seem to have a proper standard of morality, and in this particular case, not caring to stick to his word.
Okay.
Therefore, I earnestly invite you to come to the one who has a superior moral standard, Yahweh. Islamic Allah would not even keep his word in regards to you going to heaven. Forget about him. Come back to Jesus.
Now, you see, Arun, you made so many points, but the ones that I would really like to respond to are the ones that are appropriate to the conversation. I said to you very clearly, sorry.
Where's the microphone?
Who's this?
Right, it's all right. It's all right. Right, Arun? You see, you said something quite important. Yeah, you said if a person tells eight truths and 2 lies, you, according to your standard of the Bible, would consider him a liar.
Normal convention.
No, I was going to come to that. And you also said that, conventionally speaking, that is how one would be viewed. No problem. I asked you, and I even told you, and I'll repeat it again just in case you missed it. When you referred to that particular surah, I then said in response, look, in Surah 4:135, this is what it says about how we have to be just even against ourselves. Now, what you seem to have totally missed is that if there is any issue about the suspension or the absolution of oaths, there is a specific reason to it. I think it totally missed you. I then referred to N294 of the 613 commandments as evinced by the Jewish scholars. They say that it is not a sin if you are going to be accused of a sin which was done under duress. Now, I then said to you, wait a minute, Arun, if you are saying 8 truths and 2 untruths make the person by convention a liar, I then said to you, okay, Ezekiel chapter 14 verse 9 says that God directly deceived. Now,
Never does.
One second. God directly deceived. I'll read it again for the purpose of clarity.
Show me, just because you brought that up, Shabir, show me one person in the Bible who God deceived. One person,
Arul,
please.
Calm down. I didn't interject. Now I've told you very clearly. I am asking you, and I get, brother, is there a problem? Are you talking to me or you just...
Yeah, I'm alright. Thanks.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Ezekiel 14:9. Brother, I know I'm disturbing you, but can you just pull up the word invade again? Right? And you see, now it will make sense to you when I said that, look, if we wanted to end this conversation with one statement, and there are a few others which I haven't even referred to yet, one statement here, chapter 14 verse 9 of the book of Ezekiel is very clear. Okay? I want you to tell me, when it says here, I am Jehovah, and when the prophet is inveigled so that he speaks a word, I, Jehovah, have inveigled that prophet. What does the word inveigle mean?
Persuade someone to do something by means of deception or flattery.
Now, does it say here that the Creator, Jehovah, according to the biblical understanding, deceived this particular individual? Yes or no?
Shabir, I am willing to have a long I know, but
Yes,
irrelevant to the
Arul,
conversation now.
Arul, 1 second. I'll tell you how it is relevant. You need to expand your understanding. Yeah, you see, Arul, if according to your understanding and your view, which you hold strongly, Arul, you said very clearly, a person who says 8 truths and 2 lies conventionally is called a liar. I'm saying, listen, you are referring to 2 Samuels, you are referring to how oaths must be held to. I'm saying to you, wait a minute, how in the world are you trusting something where the very author is saying that he is a deceiver? Now, I'm asking you a simple question. According to this verse, Arul, does it say God deceived this person? Yes or no?
Shabir, is that your turn?
No, I'm asking first, and then I can go forward. Yes or no? Is it saying?
My response, Shabir, is clear. Yahweh of the Bible. I have read my Bible carefully, right through, and I can challenge you. God of the Bible does not deceptively act. Period.
Okay, Arul.
Period.
Arul.
Now, can I please also suggest that's an ocean
Arul, my friend,
you can hide in,
Arul,
which I don't
Arul,
want to happen.
Arul, you
Can
are
you?
drowned in it. I am not even hiding.
That's
Listen
fine.
to me, Arul.
Can we please
Listen,
come back?
I have come back. I don't think you are conceiving of what I'm saying. I'll simplify it a bit more. Listen, Arul. I said to you, if you are going to accuse, or rather suggest that the Quranic creator, okay, allows willy-nilly, according to you, to break oaths, I'm saying, wait a minute, I have explained to you. Are you familiar with the 613 commandments as evinced by the Jewish scholars? Are you familiar with them?
I am.
You are. So in 294, where it says very clearly, one second, where it says very clearly that, look, if a person sins under duress, they are not to be punished. Now, you see a rule, you need to expand your thinking. What I mean by that is that there are going to be reasons or certain actions that are going to be undertaken by people which were forced on them. So, for example, if somebody forces you or puts you under pain of death to deny the Creator, and you deny the Creator, are you found guilty according to N294? The answer is no. I know you will not respond. Okay? Now, I'm asking you a simple question, Arul. According to your standard, this standard of keeping oaths even to death, as you said, I'm asking you a simple question based on that. According to the very same book, which is talking about the God that you believe in, which is apparently polar opposite, in Ezekiel 14:9 is saying very clearly, he deceives a person directly. I'm asking you a simple question, Arul, in the context of this moral aspect. Do you agree that according to Ezekiel 14:9, here I'm reading it, it is saying God deceived this particular individual? Yes or no?
Which individual?
Do you want to read it? I thought you've read the Bible.
I know.
Yes,
Which
I'll read it
individual?
again.
Do you have a
I'll
specific
read
name
it.
there?
I'll read
Please,
it.
please
I'll
bring
read
that up.
it again. It actually says, I have deliberately deceived the prophet.
Which one?
Does it matter now?
It really matters.
Excellent. Let's go
because
back.
because you seem.
Excellent.
This is what Samshi did the other day.
No.
This is what Samshi did the other day. He brought in a case where God hadn't deceived anyone, but because Samshi can't read beyond a particular word, not the entire statement.
Excellent. The whole thing here is about what? Prophets.
Which
False
prophets?
prophets?
Which ones?
Here, false ones. Okay. Now, I'm asking.
So which particular prophet is that talking about?
What? Do you want the context as well? No problem.
Which particular prophet is that talking about?
I'm so glad you are asking me that. It means you have taken actually a step forward. Good.
No, but
One second.
I let you finish, and then I need to move on now.
No, here it is. It is taking you and some of the elders of Israel at chapter 14. Start. Okay? It talks about them. You carry on reading it. Here is the classic issue which you are now trying to...
Have you gotten an answer, Shabir?
I'm giving you the answer.
Which prophet was deceived?
I'm giving you
Please give me the answer.
Okay? I am telling you here, when it comes all the way back to here, the question that is being asked and you are now trying to avoid is simple. Can you read yours as well?
No, Shabir, I'm not here.
It is a very
I'm
important
not here
issue.
to play
Okay, all right.
some little games here. I'm here to deal with serious
I'm trying to,
moral
but I think
issues.
Brother Arul is-
Shabir, my challenge in that regard.
It's a moral issue. I'll tell you.
Have you finished now?
One second.
I'll let you finish.
I asked you a very simple one. 3 times I'm asking, and I'll ask you again. Okay? The whole of the chapter is there. You can read it as well. I'm here. I'm telling you where it is talking about. I, Jehovah, am going to reply to him. I, Jehovah, have deceived that prophet and will swing my hand over him and rout him out. The question you are asking, listen to your logic. I'm saying to you, wait, whether it's James, John, Jesus, Muhammad, Arul, Shabir, whoever, the issue is not that. The issue is, does it say that he, God, is the one deceiving? Yes or no?
Is that an end of your term?
No, I'm asking you.
No, you're asking me many questions.
I haven't asked you, I've only asked you one. Does it
For
say
how long?
Here, does it say here? Because you are not
For how
answering.
long?
You keep going all over.
No, you make your points and then let me respond, please, Shabir.
You have been accustomed to having these kinds of discussions. I don't have discussions like this. I said a conversation, and part of the conversation is that when a question is asked, like you had asked me, I responded to it.
I never asked you such questions. I presented to you a case for you to respond back.
Okay, I'll tell you what, in 2 points. Number one, I gave you a very clear indication of what the Creator is saying to us. If you want to misconstrue it, that's entirely your decision about the Quran in Surah 66.
So,
Okay, once again, we started I now am saying to you, look, whatever basis of morality you seem to hold as being superior from the Bible, I am saying to you, look, according to the standards of the Bible, everything, unfortunately, is a total fail. Why? Because this verse here, which again you still are resisting and coming out with prophet that, no, the issue is not who the person being, who the person being addressed is or ought to be. The issue here is a simple one, and I'm going to ask you one last time, and I hope you have the courage to answer. It says here, I, Jehovah, have deceived that
can you get the
prophet.
definition again,
Now,
please?
can I ask
Please.
you, one second, can I ask you, do you agree that here it says that Jehovah deceived?
So, Shabir, the definition he brought up before us, persuade, not deceive, persuade to do something. That's the definition, not deceive. Persuade to do something by means of one of two things, according to this definition, one of two things. One of them is deception and the other one is flattery. That is the definition here. Now, if you want to run, now, excuse me, Shabir, I am now answering. Before,
I'm not saying anything.
good, thank you. If you would listen, please.
I'm listening.
My point is
I
this.
can do two things at the same
The reason, the reason I asked you for the name of the prophet there is not because I wanted to find who you think Yahweh was deceiving, but rather my point was because we disagree on the definition, on the meaning of the statements that you are reading, I wanted us to go through the illustration of the example for us to clearly see Yahweh of the Bible does not deceive. There was a particular case I had a discussion with Samshi, where the illustration involved false prophets, Yahweh himself, true prophet and a king. If you take every single entity involved in that conversation, which Samshi thought God was deceiving, none of them was deceived. Every single one knew that a lying spirit had gone out with lies and had spoken to false prophets. Every single one of them knew. No deception involved. Samshi could not even read the context entirely. He was sticking to one word here, one word there. And that seems to be what you are doing there. And that is where I wanted an illustration. Anyway, my point is this. The explanation you have given, what I wanted to discuss about today was about keeping oath. And the point there is Yahweh of the Bible sticks to his word no matter the cost.
Arul.
No matter the cost.
Sorry,
Islamic
are
Allah,
you saying?
Islamic
Come
Allah,
on, you are not being fair now.
Islamic
Arul,
Allah, on the other hand,
Arul, let's go back to the word.
Surah 66, verses 1, 2, 3, if I could read.
Let's go
O
back to
Prophet,
what you
why prohibit you that which Allah has made lawful for you, seeking to please your wives? What duress is involved here? No duress is involved. I'm not saying under duress you can lie. I'm not saying under duress you can break your oath. I'm not suggesting that at all. Yahweh never suggests that to happen. But all that I'm saying is purely because you brought duress into the picture, I'm just clarifying to you clearly there is no duress involved. This is a domestic issue between a man and a couple of his wives. That seems to be the problem. No duress involved unless you're going to suggest Aisha threatened to kill Muhammad or some other wife of Prophet Muhammad threatened to kill him. If that is what you're going to suggest, that's fine. Allah has made lawful for you, legal for you, absolution from your oaths, and Allah is your protector. And it goes on to say, when the Prophet confided a fact to one of his wives, and when she afterwards divulged it, and Allah informed him of it, he made known part of it and passed over part. And the point here is, if you both turn to Allah repentant, what is repentant according to him? Not having to keep your oath is repenting. To me, that's a weird definition of repentance, and that is a weird moral character which is of God. And therefore, my suggestion, Shabir, is instead of you, I'm willing to have a long conversation. I'm willing to have a long conversation of whether Yahweh of the Bible is a deceiver or if Allah is the greatest of deceivers, Islamic Allah. I'm willing to have that long conversation, but not today. The point today is keeping oaths. Islamic Allah doesn't care to. He advances the idea of not keeping it. Yahweh wants people to keep it. He is the only true God. Islamic Allah either does not exist or is subhuman in moral character.
Please stop teaching so much. Okay, listen. I said very quickly, we are going to conclude now. I think it's, all I said to Brother Arul was if the foundation is totally destroyed, then anything above it is just pie in the sky, respectfully.
Which one?
Now, this one? No, next one. This one? Okay. Now, here is what I said. What Brother Arul tried, he tried a quick one, and I don't blame him, he had to. He quickly asked you to bring up the definition. And he then used the other words, apart from deception, he used the other words which according to him may apply to that. And I said Ezekiel 14:9, I'm going to read it again. All I want you to do is respond now, okay? It's a very simple thing, okay? It says here, and if the prophet be deceived and speak a word, I, the Lord, have deceived that prophet. Now, do you agree that the word here is deceived?
The word used here is but the
deceived.
statement is much wider than the word,
One second.
and the meaning of the statement must be understood in the context of the passage.
I'm so glad. You see, you must do it in the context. You must do it in the context.
Yes,
Here-
wives,
One second,
oath, keeping it.
One second. When it comes to Islam, as I had said earlier on, I said, look, you need to understand. Just reading like this doesn't work. However, what you cannot escape from right now is, does it say here, God deceived the prophet? Yes or no?
No, it's a wider statement.
Does it say God deceived according
No,
to this?
it's a wider
let
statement.
me read it again and tell me if my English is correct. I, the Lord, have deceived the prophet. I, the Lord, have deceived. What does that mean? I'm asking.
Can you please make your point,
I, the
Shabir?
Lord,
Can you
what
please?
does I, the Lord, have
Can
deceived
you
mean?
please make your point
Arul,
first?
I'm asking you a simple
Simple
question. It's
English
English.
means
I, the Lord, have deceived. What does it mean?
Deceived.
So if I,
What does it mean?
Shabir, let's not play simple games here. The point, the fact of the matter, the fact of the matter, Shabir.
Respectfully, I would say one thing. Go and learn a bit more, and then we'll have a conversation.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But Shabir,
Because One second.
That's fine.
Because,
I'm willing-
Arul, I've asked a simple question and all I want is a simple answer before we conclude. Does it say, I the Lord deceive?
That's not the nature of any conversation, Shabir.
Does it say, I the Lord deceive?
Shabir, a simple point here is that you don't seem to know how to read a statement in its context. Now, obviously, we disagree on this particular regard. I challenge you for a detailed debate, and when we do that, I encourage you to bring examples of a few people who God Yahweh deceived, and we could deal with those detailed cases. Yeah, that's fine.
You have said something very sensitive.
Now,
Listen, you know what you did?
I'm not asking you for your comment on your evaluation. You seem to jump up and down in terms of your evaluation.
I followed you. I'll go with you.
Okay.
Yeah, I said to you, Arul, you have come up with a very good idea now.
Yes.
Honestly.
Now,
Yeah, no,
but
one
before
second.
that, can we
Arul,
please finish up what we are
Arul,
doing now?
We've already concluded. God is
The
a deceiver
conclusion,
according to the
the
Bible.
conclusion
That's
is
the end of it.
Islamic